just failed an annual strength test, so I'm pretty emotional, exhausted, and hiking 10 miles. But I wanted to continue on and elaborate on the biggest rule we break in medicine and healing. If you haven't seen the video, 2-minute video before, you can check out the highlights on that. Otherwise, take this in. This will be longer, but that rule, based on 25 years clinically, 25 years of breaking that rule personally, is the rule of speed, the rule of time in healing, the rule of slowing down. Every single injury, no matter the magnitude, every single degree of symptoms, and they're all healing responses, to any magnitude requires a slowing. That's the first change. I mean, it is as light switch as it is. You can take just walking, you're cruising walking, you injure anything, you will slow to a halt immediately. You don't get choices. Same thing with symptoms. Now there's going to be varying degrees of all that. Why? Well, something we don't acknowledge, especially when we're blaming everything on fatigue and energy loss. Symptoms of everything and every degree of injury costs energy. So when you have healing responses called symptoms, when you have injuries, no matter the level, you're shopping out, man. You're spending hard, investing hard. So there would need to be a slowing of other areas of your life that would be costing during this time. Body already knows what all those are. You just have to learn them. It already knows. You need to understand them. Knowing them is something that I hear too often. Understanding them is where we lack. So, something else besides the slowing is for you to, and you can challenge me on this, go ahead, take you back, depending on the degree of damage or the severity of the experience, which matches the severity of healing responses, which matches the severity of changes in understanding. But it'll take you back through developmental stages so you can go through them again and learn again to a level up as an adult through these stages. Again, take injuries because they are very, very simple and you can apply them to any level of symptoms elsewhere, plus they're tied into you understanding your symptoms. But we want to disintegrate that with different professions like physical therapy and psychotherapy, and it just doesn't make any sense. Hormones and immunology, that doesn't make sense. It's all together. Mental, emotional, spiritual, intellectual, physical, vibrational, chemical, all of it addressed all the time. But take an injury, okay, roll an ankle, break an ankle, tear a leg up. It'll take you back through stages where severe enough, you might have to learn to roll back over again. You might have to learn how to breathe again. You might have to learn how to use your hands and feet, how to sit up. You might have to learn how to stand supported. You might have to learn how to oscillate back and forth. You might have to learn how to speak, how to track your eyes with your voice, with your body language. You might have to learn how to sync up hands, feet, eyes, joints. You might have to learn how to march again. You might have to learn how to march for extended periods of time. You might have to learn how to skip again. You might have to learn how to walk again. You might have to learn how to hang climb again. You might have to learn how to carry again. You might have to learn how to swallow. Basic injuries, okay? The only thing is, you're an adult. And the difference between an adult and a child is the child hasn't heard media stories. The child hasn't been in degrees and licensure and curriculums. The child has not exposed itself to all these other stories that just get in the way So now as the adult, you're going to go back through there, but you know so much because you're an adult. And worse off, you're an educated adult. My God, that's 2 knocks against you. And you will have to face that. So that's why it seems very difficult as an adult to go back through these stages, because we think we don't, 1, need them. We already did this. 2, we're above this. 3, we're so evolved and we're so know our bodies and we know what's best for us. Fine, go ahead. Body's going to tell you, and it should work every single time. That's the challenge. That's the hurdle. That's truly part of the slowing, is for you to reacquaint yourself with your childlike self as this adult that dumps all that they think they know. And that's part of it. It's a beautiful thing. And so, take any level of symptoms outside of injury. Same thing. You will have to go back through stages of development again, stages of learning how to acquire the ability to, use your hands and tools and use your jaw and teeth, produce saliva, stomach acids, and be able to chew, dissolve, digest, clean, wash, be able to take care of yourself, be able to read your body, be able to sense certain things. So back through stages of development. And again, proof, take the most extreme amount of damage that we could ever have before choosing death, because we choose. Take the most extreme amount of damage. What's the greatest healing response right before us leaving our own tissues? It's coma. So if you look at an adult in a coma, the body put itself in a coma, pulled energy from all these other systems to keep it to the most important one, so that that person who now the adult looks like a baby in a crib. They even put in fucking walls on the bed, and they're just sleeping, resting with just waves. And an infant, same thing. And they're just gurgling and moving their eyes and looking at the mobile, moving their hands and feet and trying to acquire, like, where the fuck am I? Same thing, only now that story behind the adult is totally different. Way scarier because of what they told you and what you witnessed and what you know and what you've been told to know. But an infant, nobody's going to go, oh my God, the infant's just laying there. It's shutting its eyes. It's not doing anything. That adult at that level of damage will have to go through every single stage of development on their own to learn what their body knows they are going to understand and gain wisdom and ability with. And that's why this whole thing happened, and why that person put themselves in this position in the first place. So you will need to slow. Most of medicine, all of medicine has found out ways to bypass this, because we get frustrated, and it's a psychological perfection where we are frustrated with our symptoms. Why is it not fast enough? Why am I not healed yet? Why don't I feel better? And so all these therapies, treatments, and supplements, and detoxes, and cleanses, and all these masters, certifications, licensure, all this stuff is to get people to feel better. Feel better. That's it. Doesn't matter what they learn, doesn't matter what you're breaking, doesn't matter what rules you're breaking within the body. Just get them to feel better as many fucking times as you can. Have them on auto debit till their death. And that's what we're faced with. And so again, if you bypass these stages of development that you're going to have to go through again to feel better, your body will make you go back through those. That's why we see injury cycle, symptom cycle, and not always the same. Relationship pattern cycle, belief pattern cycle, actions and feelings, and all these things will cycle back through to put you back through it. We always hear this. Well, if we just took this little medication to get past that first hurdle, then I'll be more open to and more able. It'll be easier on my system. No, you are supposed to go through that. Whatever you skip in those stages, as to the life raft that they did, whether it's a surgery even, or whether it's a drug, or whether it's an herb, or whether they tried to do it with HCG to have people who are, overweight. We already talked about what weight is and why you shouldn't measure it. It's the accumulation of every response of every cell and every tissue and every organ in your body, and we're going to reduce it down to a single number and say that it's right or wrong or better or worse, or that doesn't fucking A. But if we have people lose that number, they'll be more psychologically stable to take on the real changes that they need to have. And that just fucking absolutely was a disaster, as we always see with this. Physical therapy, same thing, occupational, all forms of therapy, treatment, medicines, anything. They're all a part of the same thing. Make people feel better so they don't have to go through those stages of development. Now take puberty 1. How long does puberty 1 last? 2 to 5 years. You know what would happen if we tried to speed that up? Or if we tried to manipulate the natural processes going on with stuff like birth control? Oh, we did do that. Oh my God. And what happened? The body just makes that person have to go through those stages again, only they're after that 2 to 5 year window, and now they're in their teens or 20s, and they have to do it again. What do we see with puberty 2? That they've so eloquently called menopause and andropause. Well, they test you, scare you, show you the hormones, and then they repackage birth control. Repackage birth control as what? HRT. What? No way they would do that. Manipulate a natural gateway of development and growth to make the person have a established way of feeling because everybody's supposed to feel the same way. They would never do that. And here we are. And so what will have to happen is the body will cycle back through what that person was to see in that 2 to 5 year span, to go back through those stages of development, to learn the wisdom and understand their bodies and their bodies in their lives even more, to enhance life. The slowing isn't to retard you. It's not a limitation. It'd be more of a protection. And crawling isn't a limitation to the baby. It's a stage. So symptoms and injuries and slowing isn't a limitation by any means. And you getting frustrated, you're going to have to face why those feelings and thoughts are coming out, where they're coming from, and who you've employed to directly confuse everything. So beauty part is, whenever you acquire this, as long as you're still alive, it's okay. But you got to think that the accumulation of how many times did you bypass developmental stages to get to something sooner than later? You have to go through those again. Professional athletes, you see it all the time. You see it with like fashion, and where they crash do certain things to speed up process. You see it in all forms of medicine. You see it with surgeries. You see it with these crazy detoxes. You see it with these crazy loadings of herbs to process stuff. You see it with these medications, with these flushes, with all these things, all in an attempt to get the person to feel better, which is ultimately skipping stages of development that they had to go back through again to learn what they needed to learn this time through. And you will continue to have to do this until you leave and choose death. That is perfection. You get to go back through those stages of development. And again, if I were to end up in a bed, which I had for a certain amount of days, I'd be like, oh my God, what do I get to do in this bed right now that I'm not distracted with because I'd be out of bed? Now I can't do anything. I just get to be in bed. Ooh, okay, here we go. Tons of work to do, because when you're slow, that's when the work is harder and deeper and more changing. When you're like loose and free and fluid and whatever and fast and not really, it's not hard during those times. It's not as changing. So there's a reason your body has you going slow. And again, think of it when you travel the same road 1,000 times. You know what's on that road. You've driven the road. You've driven the road at 40 miles an hour. Now you got to drive it at 10 because it's raining. And now you start seeing different things at 10 miles an hour. Now you can't drive the road. You're going to bike the road. Oh my God, you see the road completely differently. And then you sprint the road for some reason. See it differently. Then you jog the road, see it differently. Then you walk the road, see it totally differently. Then you crawl the road. Same road. This has all been here this entire time. Those stages of speeds, your body knows there's something for you to, when it slows, what's here for you to see that you couldn't see at a faster pace. And that's all that aging is. Everything they say is like aging is slowing. Aging is this. If anytime something slows, it's for you to understand. It's not aging. It's just a form of understanding. And every learning process takes a level of slow. I mean, take music, take art, take sport, take handwriting, like I was involved in that. You have to slow down the lessons to get these earlier foundational levels, and you're never done with them. You are never past them. You are never beyond them. They're never done. And if they're boring, you need to assess where your intention's coming from, because that guy up there is not boring. That little lady up there isn't boring. This whole experience isn't boring. Breakfast and dinner aren't boring. People aren't boring. So when your body wants you to slow, you listen. You listen, and you take action during that slow time.